Title: On my ex-wife's wedding day, she mocked my simple life in front of her rich friends. But when her new husband-to-be saw me, he froze with horror. What happened next? Left everyone in shock. Chapter 1. The invitation I wasn't supposed to get. It had been 5 years since the divorce. 5 years since she walked out of our modest 2-bedroom home and straight into the arms of wealth, status, and champagne brunches. Her final words echoed like a punch. "You were always too small for me." I never responded. I didn't fight for her. I didn't try to win her back. I simply let her go, quietly, without drama. The pain, however, lingered like a shadow in the corner of every room I entered for a long, long time, until one day, I stopped feeling it. I rebuilt my life. No, not in a flashy, Instagram-perfect kind of way, but in the kind that matters. A small carpentry business I started from scratch took off. My hands were always busy, my heart calm, my circle of friends genuine. I lived simply, peacefully, honestly. Then, 1 week ago, an envelope arrived. Cream-colored, gold-embossed, fancy. It was a wedding invitation. Heron from her. Elena. I stared at it, confused at first, then amused. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was her twisted idea of showing how far she'd come. But curiosity itched. I RSP'd yes. Chapter 2. The stage was set. The venue was a luxurious hilltop estate, overlooking the city like it owned every single light below. I arrived in jeans, boots, and a collared shirt that still smelled faintly of sawdust from the morning's work. People turned and stared. Every man in a tailored suit. Every woman in a dress that cost more than my monthly rent. I felt the judgment settle like dust on old wood. But I didn't shrink. I was here to observe, not to impress. From the balcony, I heard laughter rise like a wave, and there she was, Elena, draped in white silk and arrogance. She spotted me across the crowd and motioned for her bridesmaids to follow. They closed the distance, wine glasses in hand, lips already curled in mockery. "You actually showed up," she said, eyes twinkling with sarcasm. "Didn't expect you'd find parking in a place this upscale." Her friends laughed. "How's life in your little cabin? Still fixing tables and chasing pennies? Must be surreal for you to be around real elegance for once." I smiled, calm, unmoved. "It's peaceful, and everything I own is paid off." They laughed again, but with less confidence. I could see it. They expected me to flinch, to feel small. But the real twist? It was about to come, because as her soon-to-be husband walked in from the side terrace, cocktail in hand, he caught sight of me and froze. The glass slipped slightly in his grip, his face flush with confusion and something eerily close to fear. He turned pale, then whispered, "You..." The laughter stopped. Conversations fell away. All eyes turned to me. "Do you two know each other?" Elena asked, suddenly nervous. "Yes," her fiancé said quietly, not taking his eyes off me. "More than you could ever imagine." Chapter 3. The groom's dirty past. Elena blinked at her fiancé, confused. The silence was growing heavier with each second. "Wait, what do you mean you know him?" she asked, glancing between us. Her fiancé, Nathan, didn't answer right away. His hand was trembling as he set the glass down on a nearby table. His lips parted, but no words came. I finally broke the tension. "You should ask him, Elena," I said calmly. "Ask him where we met." "Where did you..." she started, but stopped herself. Then she turned to Nathan. "What is he talking about? How do you know my ex-husband?" Nathan finally spoke, voice strained. "It was a long time ago. Before you. I didn't know she was your..." He paused. "I didn't know she was your wife back then." The guests were now openly watching, phones forgotten, hors d'oeuvres untouched. The band had stopped playing mid-melody. Elena's face went pale. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "What did you do?" He hesitated. Then, "We used to work together. In finance, a big investment firm uptown, but there was an incident, a whistleblower case. He glanced at me. He was the one who reported us. Gasps. A few of the older guests exchanged nervous glances. Elena's voice trembled. Reported? For what? I stepped forward, my voice steady. Insider trading, securities fraud, embezzlement. The company covered it up, but I handed over everything to the feds. Nathan here cut a deal and vanished. Changed industries, changed cities, changed names. I looked right at Nathan. Never thought I'd see your face again. Imagine my surprise when I opened that wedding invite. Elena stumbled backward like she'd been slapped. You criminal. You lied to me? Nathan's tone turned desperate. I didn't lie. I protected us. That part of my life is over. I've built everything again. On a foundation of fraud, I cut in. Seems fitting. She left me for luxury after all. The words hit like a bullet. Elena's eyes widened. You knew who he was? The whole time? You planned this? I shrugged. Let's just say I trusted Karma, and Karma asked me to RSVP. Chapter 4. Shattered Vows, Shattered Masks. The silence at the venue was oppressive now, only broken by the soft rustling of the breeze and the awkward shifting of stunned guests. Nathan looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. Elena, still gripping the edge of a marble pillar for support, turned her wrath on him like a blade. You told me your past was clean, that your record was spotless. You swore you never had skeletons. Nathan stepped forward, palms out. I had to lie. If I told the truth, you'd never look at me. You wanted a man with status, prestige, money. She flinched, as if slapped again. This time not by betrayal, but by the realization. It was true. She did want that. She had left me not for love, not for happiness, but for what looked better in photos, what earned likes, what earned envy. Now it was crumbling in front of the very people she tried to impress. You said he was pathetic, one of her bridesmaids whispered, pointing toward me. Said he lived in a shack, said he'd probably never recover from losing you. Another guest spoke up, an older man in a tailored suit I didn't recognize. Nathan, is this why you disappeared from the firm? We heard rumors. The SEC probe. But no one ever confirmed who... Nathan didn't respond. His silence said everything. I looked at Elena, her mascara beginning to run, her pride wilting fast. You mocked me, I said, voice low but clear, in front of everyone. Called my life small. But here's the thing. I turned toward the crowd. My life is simple, yes, but it's honest. I build things with my hands, not steal them with spreadsheets. I wake up with peace, not secrets. And when people shake my hand, they don't wonder what's hiding behind it. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Someone actually clapped, then stopped, embarrassed. But it was too late. Momentum had shifted. Elena was no longer the radiant bride. She was just... exposed. Nathan broke the silence with a final attempt to regain control. This doesn't change anything. We still love each other. We can explain. But Elena was already stepping back from him, shaking her head slowly. I gave up everything for this wedding, she whispered. For you. For this perfect image. She looked around, at the shocked guests, at the whispering bridesmaids, at the camera crew who had now stopped recording altogether. And you gave me ruin, her voice cracked. Then she turned to me, eyes bloodshot but steady. Did you come just to destroy me? I met her gaze evenly. Number you did that all by yourself. I just showed up so you'd have to watch it happen. Chapter 5. The bride walks alone. Gasps turned to whispers. Whispers turned to murmurs. And murmurs became judgment. I watched as Elena stood at the center of it all, once the perfect bride, now the centerpiece of a scandal unraveling in real time. One by one, her bridesmaids stepped away. The ones who laughed with her before were now quiet, suddenly remembering that they had reputations too. Nathan stood frozen, sweat beading on his forehead, his designer suit doing nothing to mask the panic behind his eyes. We can still fix this, he pleaded, grabbing Elena's wrist. She jerked it away like his touch burned. Number. You're not dragging me down with you. And then, like a final curtain falling, the venue's event manager approached hesitantly. Mrs. Elena, sorry, do you still want the ceremony to continue? The silence that followed that question was heavier than anything yet. Elena blinked slowly, taking in the entire scene. The photographer packing up his gear. The caterers standing awkwardly by the buffet. The empty chairs where guests had quietly slipped away. The gossip already spreading like wildfire. She looked at Nathan once more. This man she had bet her future on. And then she looked at me, not with anger, not even with hate, but with a kind of aching realization. She had traded love for lifestyle, honesty for aesthetics, and in doing so, lost everything that mattered. She didn't respond to the manager. Instead, she pulled off her veil with trembling fingers, let it fall to the floor, and walked away, alone, down the aisle meant for her new beginning. As she disappeared through the gates, Nathan chased after her, shouting her name. No one stopped him. No one followed. The ceremony was over, but the fallout had only just begun. I turned to leave too, just as calmly as I had entered, but not before one of Elena's aunts stopped me near the valet. She was older, quiet, with kind eyes. You've changed, she said. So has she, I replied. Only difference is, I grew. She nodded slowly. I hope someday she understands what she lost. I didn't answer. Some lessons come too late, and some stories don't need revenge when the truth is brutal enough. Epilogue. Years later, under a different sky. 3 years had passed since the wedding that wasn't. It became a story people whispered about in elite circles. The hilltop collapse, they called it. A glamorous bride, a scandalous groom, an ex-husband who showed up looking like a nobody and walked out as the only one with dignity. I never told my side. I didn't have to. Truth, like good woodwork, doesn't need polish to shine. Nathan was disbarred from every board he quietly joined under aliases. After the exposure at the wedding, regulators reopened old files, deals unraveled, partnerships dissolved. The new fortune he'd tried to build, seized, frozen, gone. He eventually moved to another city and started over, again. But this time, the shame followed. His face? Easy to Google now. His name? A cautionary tale. Elena's spiral was slower. She tried returning to her old social circle, but influence fades fast when respect vanishes. Friends stopped inviting her. People began avoiding her name altogether. Not because they were angry, but because embarrassment is contagious in high society. She tried a podcast once. Reclaiming Me. 2 episodes in, it vanished. Word was she went back to her parents' place for a while, then moved to a small apartment on the city's edge. She picked up work in marketing, modest, ordinary, and for the first time, she lived the life she once mocked. Me? I stayed small. My carpentry business kept growing, slow and steady. I hired 3 young guys, all good with their hands, none born with silver spoons. We crafted homes, not just furniture. I taught them the art of patience, the power of quiet integrity. People say revenge is best served cold, but I never served revenge. I just lived well. Honestly, that was enough. One day, as I was finishing a custom bookshelf at a client's home, I received a letter, cream-colored envelope. No return address. Inside, a note. You were right about everything. I hope you found the piece I chased away. Elena. I folded it neatly, placed it in my drawer. Did I feel anything? Yes, but not anger, just closure, because some people spend their lives chasing diamonds and mirrors. Me? I build with oak and iron, and sleep peacefully, every single night. Was this revenge perfectly justified? Tell us what you would have done in the comments below. Like the story, share it with someone who needs this energy, and subscribe to Lauren's story for more jaw-dropping tales of betrayal and justice, because here, Every lie has its reckoning, and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay strong, and stay tuned.